Hey, we are back for another review of Sisters. We're on season 10, episode 8, entitled Best Laid Plans. So Danny is talking to Creature. She called Creature in last episode, which is her therapist, to kind of chat. I think she's feeling a little bit better, even though it's probably the next day, about the situation. She's kind of processed things a little bit more. She wants to reattack the conversation that they had earlier. So Creature is happy to see that she appears to be a bit better than the last time that she saw her. And Creature asks her, like, how you doing? How you feeling? And she tells her, like, the physical bruises, they're fading. I'm not as sore, but the emotional ones, not so much. She's still very emotionally raw in this space. So I am glad that even though she's still struggling, she had the wherewithal to reach out to a therapist and get the help she needs, reach out to the resources that she has. So that's what most of this first scene is going to be about. So we circle back to the original conversation of what truly happened. And Danny tells Lucretia that not only did the recent trauma happen with the officer, but this trauma unlocked a lot of things within her, so far back that she went back to the first time she was assaulted or DV'd, or was in this similar situation back in college. Unfortunately, one event can trigger a lot of instances, and this is what has happened to Danny. So not only is she battling what recently happened, she's battling the two to three other instances that she has not been able to heal from. So she has a lot going on in her head, unfortunately. Okay. And then she tells Lucretia that she's angry. She feels anger. She's vulnerable. She feels stupid. Like she should have never gotten in the situation. She feels dumb for trusting another person. Yet again, that ended up hurting her. And Lucretia does a very good job of constantly reminding her, like, don't matter what mistakes you made, what situations you put yourself in. These instances are not your fault. Don't beat yourself up about it. Give yourself some grace. Like just kind of putting this information into her brain, even though she's not in a space where she can believe it or receive it just yet. Okay, so Lucretia asked her, like, what do you want to come out of this? Like, what do you hope to come out on the other side of this thing? Like, do you want justice? Do you want power back over your life? Do you want your autonomy back? Like, what do you want? Do you want to not be a victim? Like, what is it that you want the outcome to be? And I think that she's asking that to tailor how she's going to be able to help her, because everybody's healing is not on the other side of justice. We do know that, right? Because we live in America. Let's just be honest here. Even if this person ends up in jail, which there's a possibility that he's not, because he's checked behind the blue wall by being a cop and all this other stuff, right? Let's just say he doesn't end up in prison. There's no justice there, and she still has to deal with it. Even if she does, she has this post-traumatic stress that she now has to mentally deal with. So what do you need so that your therapist can better tailor their help to what you're looking for? That's why I think the question was important, because I think a lot of her friends are just screaming justice when maybe that's not what she needs right now. Okay? All right. Okay, so she tells Creature that she wants to stop attracting men that hurt her. She wants to know why she keeps attracting the same type of person over and over again. And Lucretia tells her that sometimes we do this until we heal from past traumas. We attract the thing that we miss. So for example, like if your dad beat your mama up, you're more likely to end up in a abusive relationships. Now, some people go to the far extreme, they don't, but there are cases that show, like, hey, you run so far away from that thing that you become it. So, yeah. So that's what she's looking for. And she also tells Lucretia that she's also leery because she's looking at Tony, and she's wondering when will it be his turn to make her feel small and helpless. Again, I think that's going to lend itself to the post-traumatic stress of it all. I'm not telling y'all my business, child. I'm not doing that. But I understand why she said that. Let's just say sometimes you're sitting on pins and needles waiting for the other shoe to drop. Especially if life is going great, ain't nothing going wrong, ain't nothing traumatic happening. Sometimes you're kind of sitting in the wings waiting like, okay, all right, when is my car gonna break down? Like, when is something bad gonna happen to you when so many less than stellar things have taken place? So I can see how that response came up. It's a reasonable response. And again, Krisha's doing a good job of trying to get her mind off of like that negative, that was me path, but it's where she is, unfortunately. And so Krisha reminds her that no matter how you and Tony go, you have the power to navigate what comes next. You also will be in a position to take your power back. Like, you're not going to be helpless forever. You're going to get your power back. I believe you're going to do that. But again, she's asking her, well, telling her like, hey girl, give yourself some grace. We're going to get through this. And once I'm done with you, you're going to be brand new. Like, not to fix her, but to give her hope. Like, hey, there's something on the other side of this that it's not how you currently feel. All right. And then Krisha goes into what I was waiting on somebody to get to. Let's get to the evidence collection. She's like, girl, do you have pictures? Do you have videos? Do you have anything that's what we're going to be able to take to the cops about it, or whatever? And she's like, and Danny's like, girl, I don't know why I'm not going to the cops. So what? It don't really do any good. And Lucretia's like, why not? And she's like, because we had consensual intercourse the night before. So I'm not going to the cops. And of course, we know that there's an added layer of not wanting to go to the cops. And Lucretia's like, girl, even if you gave somebody permission the night before, if you wake up today and the answer is we're not doing this, then we're simply not doing this. I probably mentioned it in another review. Like, just because you got permission one time, it's not a blanket permission slip. That don't mean you get a yes every time, or you don't have to acquire a yes or an invitation every time. All right? And if that's too much, you got to be by yourself, okay? You got to leave these people alone. Okay? It's got to be a clear, definite, definitive, absolutely, surely. Okay? All right. Okay. And she also gives like a little hint to who he is if Lucretia was to use the information. Of course she can't, because, I want to say attorney-client privilege, but apply that aspect to the therapist, because I don't know what the privilege is here, but you can't be diamond at your people, so to speak. But she did mention like, yeah, this person, Tony walked in on me and this person before, and da-da-da-da-da-da. Now, if she was to tell Tony that, Tony would have a clue as to who the person, well, potentially, at least he would have a face to go with the lack of a name. All right. And then she finally kind of blurts out and tells Lucretia, like, he is the police. I'm not going to the police. Like, so there's the answer. He's the police. We know how that goes. She doesn't want to go. And so Lucretia reminds Danny, like, that's okay for right now. I guess, we'll leave that alone for now. But, and they're just small talking. And she is talking about, we're talking about friendship. And she reminds Danny that, hey, you are processing a lot, not just the current instance, but historical instances, and it's going to be really difficult for your friends to help and be of support to you without the full extent of what you're dealing with. So we're just assuming that she's telling Danny, let your friends in a little bit, let them carry some of the load with you, let them help you. It'll be an uphill battle for a personality like Danny, but it might be helpful. So I guess it's worth a shot. It's worth a shot. All right. Andy is checking on her mama, and she's pretty good, considering it was her first day of chemo. Of course, it's going to take a couple days for the effects to take, and, for the fatigue and all the different symptoms to hit her. So right now she's out taking a walk. She's pretty good. And Andy tells her mama that, I'm glad you're doing good. She's taking good care of you, but I hate that I can't be there with you. And her mama insists on her not being there. She was like, no ma'am, like, your job is to be there, be with your sister, y'all rekindle what y'all got to do. And she's insisting on her girls not stopping her life just to take care of her. And I, for one, might be a little controversial topic now. We're gonna play nice, right? We're not gonna, all right. I think it was admirable that her mom would not allow her to drop everything to redirect her whole life to take care of her. I didn't say that she shouldn't want to. That's not what I said. What I'm saying is some parents think that because they made the decision, did nobody take no survey and ask you if you wanted to be born, right? Right. Because they made the decision to bring you earthside, to give birth to you, that you're automatically inclined to take care of them. That is not, I don't agree, and I don't believe that way. That's what I'll say about that. And being from the South, a lot of people do think that, especially when they have a lot of kids. Some people actually have children so that they can have someone to take care of them. Being someone that is childless, I've heard people say, oh, well, who's going to take care of you when you get old? Me. What are we talking, like me? Or, the facilities that I would pay to take care of me. Like, you don't bring nobody here to train them up to be your caregiver. That's not what these people look forward to in life. But I think it was nice. I'm gonna get off of that because I can go real far with that. But yeah, I like that she is not allowing or won't let her children. She'd rather them have a relationship as opposed to them stopping their life to take care of her. And I think that's critical. That's important, because once she's gone, because she's not going to be here forever, and she's talking real final wishes, final arrangements type language, right? Anyway, once she is gone, all Andy and Cheyenne will have is Andy and Cheyenne. And if they don't take this time to rebuild or come to some sort of sistership, they might not have each other on the back end of this. All they would have had is the honor of having taken care of their mama. And I'm saying honor because some people think, oh, well, you dropped everything and you rearranged your life to take care of your parent. It's so honorable. It's so honorable. Until the lady gone, and now everybody looking at you like, okay, like, what did you do with your life? Like, okay, you stopped your life for 5 to 10 years to take care of your mom. Now you got that gap in job history, or that gap in socialization, that gap in a lot of things that you are now playing catch up on. So that kind of sets you back. So I think for those that want to do it, honorable. And for those that don't, still honorable. That's what I think. All right, moving on. All right. Danny goes to see Sabrina, and she meets one of the staff members that tells her that they're still on the search to find Sabrina's next of kin. And she's like, I thought I was the point of contact. She was like, yeah, while you are the point of contact on her bank paperwork, which would mean like, okay, if something happened with her job, you would be the decision maker there. But there is no power of attorney, like there's no medical power of attorney in place for her medical decisions, all of which are different types of authorizations, right? So you can't make any medical decisions without a court order. Now you can like petition the court and go through the process to become her medical power of attorney, but that's going to be a process. So in the meantime, while that's happening, the ethics board will have to make the decisions, and I can only hope that we're making the most sound decisions for her. In the meantime, we are still looking for her family. And we do learn that Sabrina's mom gave her to her grandma to raise her, and then her grandma passed away. So I don't know if a mama is going to pop up. I'm not sure. I don't know. We'll see what develops with that. But her grandma's gone, and Danny insists like, hey, she has no relationship with anyone else in her family. So that happens. That happens in real life. So she should go ahead and do what she needs to do for the court order. Of course, nothing within the legal system is quick, so hopefully it'll be fruitful, right? Okay. All right, so Cheyenne ends up telling Andy who her date is with, and it is Hayden Moss, child. And Andy's trying to talk her out of going on this date with Hayden. She's like, girl, who? And she's like, Hayden. And she's like, girl, please don't go on a date with him. He is a snake. And Cheyenne thinks she can tame a dragon at this point. She was like, okay, I'm a snake charmer. I'll take on the task. So she don't believe Fat McGreasy. Like she don't believe Fire Hot. So that's gonna be a fiasco nonetheless. Because we already seen in predictions for next week's episode that Cheyenne and Hayden are gonna run into Andy on her date with Dr. Vaughn and learn that the two are sisters, and that's just gonna be whatever happens with that. All right. So Fatima was able to utilize some street ingenuity to figure out who put the bomb in Andy's car. Sounds like he's just this random guy from around the way that was hired to do the task. And he's at somebody's strip club just letting his lips flap and telling somebody he came up on a lot of money. He's spending a lot of money that he does not normally have. And so she's like, oh, okay. So she's making some more calls. So she's about to get the situation handled. I don't know if she called Madam or who she called, but yeah, I think we're about to take it to the streets with this one. And I'm really not mad about it, okay? All right. The FBI investigator from the Gary stabbing situation that happened last season or the season before, I don't know, whichever one, calls Andy and lets her know, like, hey, Mr. Benson has them on the case. So this is great because it sounds like Mr. Benson is all in, not only with the bomb situation, with getting the FBI involved to figure out who almost unalived Andy. Like, she really could have not made it. But he's also all in on the Dr. Cruz situation, so she has a lot of backing. So, you know, this could really work out in her favor. So it was nice to see that the FBI is going to take on the case and they're taking it seriously, and we're going to probably get some justice. Now, we got some conflicting justices going on, right? Because we got the FBI over here doing it the legal route, and we got Fatima over here doing it the street way. Who's going to be successful? Stay tuned for another episode to see who's going to get the guy that tried to get Andy. All right. Okay. So we see Cheyenne. Girl, slow down. Cheyenne and Hayden go on their little dates. And at best, it's cringy, child. She comes in and Andy finally let her borrow a dress. And she's looking good, smelling good, feeling good, child. And they just talking. And he was like, you look very good. You look very nice. And she's like, okay, thank you. And he's talking about, what about me? Hey, shut up. You're a freaking dweeb. Like, what are you... That was just so cringy to me. It was real cringy. Either way, that was the end of the episode. Not much to go on. That was it. Not much to talk about. Whatever you come up with, let's talk about it in the comments. We'll talk about it there. In the meantime, like, comment, share, subscribe, or whatever it is that you feel like doing. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.